think of charisma, charm, and a voice that could melt steel, one name often comes to mind: Sean Connery. Born Thomas Sean Connery on August 25, 1930, in the gritty working-class neighborhood of Fountainbridge, Edinburgh, Scotland, he wasn't just an actor, he was a phenomenon. The man who would become the first, and for many, the definitive James Bond, didn't start life with a silver spoon. His story is one of grit, determination, and an unrelenting drive to carve his own path. A tale that took him from the cobblestone streets of Scotland to the glitzy heights of Hollywood. Connery's early years were humble, to say the least. His father, Joseph, was a factory worker and truck driver, while his mother, Euphemia, known as Effie, worked as a cleaning lady. The family lived in a cramped tenement at 176 Fountainbridge, where young Sean slept in a drawer because there wasn't enough room for a proper crib. Money was tight, and by the age of 9, Sean was already pitching in, delivering milk to help make ends meet. School wasn't his forte. He left at 13 to work full-time, taking on odd jobs like laying bricks, polishing coffins, and even modeling for art students at the Edinburgh College of Art. Life was tough, but it built in him a resilience that would define his future. At 16, Connery enlisted in the Royal Navy, seeking adventure and a way out. He got 2 tattoos during his service, one reading Mum and Dad and the other Scotland Forever, a testament to his lifelong loyalty to his family and heritage. But his naval career was cut short after 3 years due to a stomach ulcer, a condition that plagued many in his family. Discharged at 19, he returned to Edinburgh, unsure of what lay ahead. For a while, he bounced between manual labor jobs, lifeguard, bricklayer, even a stint as a nude model. But fate had bigger plans. In his early 20s, Connery discovered bodybuilding, a pursuit that sculpted his now iconic physique. In 1953, he represented Scotland in the Mr. Universe competition, placing 3rd in the tall man's category. It was here that a chance encounter changed everything. A fellow competitor mentioned auditions for a touring production of South Pacific. Intrigued, Connery decided to give it a shot. With no acting experience, he took a crash course in singing and dancing and landed a spot in the chorus. It was a modest start, but it sparked something in him. During the tour, he met American actor Robert Henderson, who saw potential in the rough-edged Scotsman. Henderson handed him a stack of books, works by Ibsen, Shakespeare, and Tolstoy, urging him to educate himself and refine his craft. Connery took the advice to heart, and thus began his transformation. The 1950s were a proving ground. Connery started with small roles, bit parts in films like Lilacs in the Spring, 1954, and a gangster in a BBC episode of Dixon of Dock Green. His first big break came in 1957 with the BBC's Requiem for a Heavyweight, where he played a washed-up boxer. Critics raved, and suddenly the industry took notice. A year later, he starred opposite Lana Turner in Another Time, Another Place, 1958, a melodrama that stirred tabloid buzz when Turner's mobster boyfriend stormed the set. Jealous of their chemistry, Connery's rugged charm was undeniable, but he was still a diamond in the rough. Then came 1962, the year that would change everything. Producers Albert "Cubby" Broccoli and Harry Saltzman were casting for a new film based on Ian Fleming's spy novels. They needed someone to embody James Bond, Agent 007, suave, dangerous, and magnetic. Big names like Cary Grant and Richard Burton were in the mix, but Broccoli's wife Dana saw Connery and Darby O'Gill and The Little People, 1959, and insisted he had it. Fleming wasn't convinced, famously grumbling that Connery was an overgrown stuntman, not the refined commander he'd envisioned. But director Terrence Young took Connery under his wing, teaching him how to wear a tuxedo, order a martini, and move with effortless grace. When Dr. No hit theaters, the world agreed with Dana. Connery was Bond, cool, lethal, and dripping with charisma. Fleming won over, even gave Bond a Scottish backstory in later novels. The Bond franchise exploded, from Russia with Love, 1963, to Goldfinger, 1964, Thunderball, 1965, and beyond. Connery starred in 707 films, including the non-Eon Never Say Never Again, 1983. He defined the role with his sly wit, piercing gaze, and that unmistakable Scottish burr. But fame came at a cost. The relentless publicity wore on him. And by You Only Live Twice, 1967, he was ready to break free, fearing typecasting. After Diamonds Are Forever, 1971, he donated his $1.25 million salary to the Scottish International Education Trust, a charity he co-founded, and swore off Bond until a lucrative return years later. Connery wasn't just Bond, though. He proved his range in films like Alfred Hitchcock's Marnie, 1964, where he played a brooding businessman.